So, one of the greatest hip hop musicians of all time, P Diddy, or Puff Daddy as his original name, stage name used to be, seems to be heading to jail, following closely on the heels of R. Kelly, who was also jailed for child sexual exploitation. P Diddy is basically faces the possibility of being jailed for sex trafficking. I don't want to go much into the details of that because I don't understand a lot of it. But here is the thing: when you get onto a matatu, or you maybe in the privacy of your room, and you listen to all this music that has to do with sex, that has basically pornographic music, and you hear all this talk about smoking weed and on and on and on, what basically we call gangster music or dirty music, I don't know, whatever we call it. What do you think about it? Is it something you enjoy? I came across a video of a guy, a gentleman who analyzed this thing, and he basically said that the reason the guys who do such music succeed is because there's a large clientele out there who love such. In other words, when they talk about abuse or deviant sexual behavior, when they make music that's full of uh, raunchy lyrics and naked girls imitating sexual behavior, etc., they're basically living up their fantasy. And this guy says that the reason that music succeeds is because there's a large crowd of people out there who fantasize about that kind of behavior. In short, even though P. Diddy might be jailed, even though R. Kelly is jailed, there are millions of people around the world who fantasize about the life that those guys live. Now, you can excuse yourself and say you're not a child abuser, you're not, I don't know, whatever excuses you give yourself. But that guy argued, and I think quite convincingly, that if you enjoy such music or such movies or whatever, it is what you fantasize about, which means the only reason you haven't lived such a life is that you have lacked the opportunity and the resources. People like P. Diddy and R. Kelly had the opportunity created by the amount of resources they had. They had money, they're wealthy, they're rich, and so they can be able to pursue their fantasies. So perhaps most of the people who enjoy that kind of music but have not behaved like that are just people who have lacked the opportunity to live like that. What am I saying? What's my point? I'm saying what you feed your mind on not only influences you, but also shows where your interest lies. If you enjoy music that's full of abuse or that's full of expletives, music laden with the F words, and all kinds of other expletives. If you enjoy music that degrades women, chances are you're a person who, given an opportunity, would do the very same things you fantasize about. That's the whole point. This is a very brief video. It's only meant to make you think. I think it is when as a Christian, one of the things I've struggled with throughout my Christianity has been listening to music that's not Christian, love music. When I was starting off, when I became born again for the first time, we were always warned, don't listen to secular music, as it was called. I have since grown to a point whereby I think it's possible to listen to secular music that is good, that's wholesome, that encourages me to love my wife. Love songs that talk about real love. There are songs about sex that is not love at all. And that is destructive. Now, for those who do not know, or those who might not have the knowledge, there is no such thing as free sex. Someone always pays for what you call free sex. You can think of it as religiosity. But indeed, as a Christian, I think I can testify that when you have sex out of marriage, sex without restriction, sex without responsibility, sex without accountability, where you just have it for free. Someone is paying. Usually, the first person who pays is a woman. Women, the way they are created, the way God formed them, are sexually vulnerable. A man can go out and have all the free sex he wants. A woman can't. I mean, there are women who have tried, but the price they pay for it is terrible because a woman has to worry about pregnancy, first of all. A man can do it and just walk away and think nothing, except for sicknesses, diseases that are spread sexually. But that's also another thing that women are vulnerable to. You see, when it comes to even sexual abuse, it's far much easier for a woman to suffer sexual abuse than for a man. Again, because of the biological reasons, women are more vulnerable. So the moment you begin to enjoy music that degrades women, that suggests, implies, or comes close to depicting things to do with abuse, sexual abuse, you are basically saying, even if you don't know it, that that's your fantasy. So I am saying, clean yourself up, be a better man. Especially, I'm talking to men, but I know there are women who enjoy that kind of music. And so, even for the women, I say this: be a better woman. Please don't entertain expletive-laden music. Don't entertain dirty music. It doesn't just degrade women. It does not only show you in a bad light, it brings down the entire society. It means walking around in freedom among us are would-be rapists, are people who would abuse women. If you promote that kind of music, anytime you listen to it, you're promoting it because you're becoming the audience that makes young men think the only music that succeeds is dirty music. Please don't encourage a messed up society. Clean up your thinking. I'm saying this as a man. I'm also saying this as a parent. If you want a good society, be the reason why we have a good society. Behave like what you want. Thank you for listening to me.